Welcome to my first session of mobile application testing. We're going to be covering just a little bit right now what is the difference between the testing of desktop applications and mobile applications. And this is where we are going to start. So, hold on just a second, guys. This is where we're going to start. We're going to start from a little history. When the first cell phone actually hit the official commercial market in 1983, it was a huge, devices with lots of weight. And I remember actually in the early 90s, somebody was having a phone in the mobile phone in his car. It was an executive from HP. And the phone cost about maybe $5,000, and it was so heavy. It was just you try to talk on that phone on that tube, and you basically have to go to the chiropractor, because it was so heavy. And right now we are having the mobile phones that weigh barely 5 ounces, but at the same time, the capability, the memory of those devices that we have now, you can basically do anything. There are so many applications. There are 7 categories of applications that we're going to be learning, from the social networking to the utilities and multimedia. So they're basically, you can carry all your life in all these phones and in these 5 ounces that are able to hold all your life. But at the same time, it is very important to understand the difference, what you did on your desktops and what you have to do on your mobile devices. Basically, without just getting into the details, let's just get the difference. What is the desktop application and what is mobile application? What is web application? Desktop application, like we all know, we're all using PCs and laptops. And this is an application that executes exclusively on the user's local machine. So you download it, right? You click the .exe, right? And it installs, okay? Mobile applications, they come in 3 different shapes and sizes, okay? There are native applications, there are hybrid applications, and the mobile version of the web applications that are specifically designed for your mobile device, okay? But these mobile web applications, they are just the websites that are designed specifically for your mobile device. And also we have just the web applications, and they're not platform specific. They are not designed for a specific platform because we can access them through any browsers. So the whole definition of the desktop application is that it absolutely may or might not have the network component. Okay, some applications that you are downloading, they do not require, right, the internet connection, like just a Microsoft Word. It doesn't care if it does have internet connection or not. It's more like a utility. Okay, then if you need an update, you have to just go back to the site where this application was developed at, and you download the update. Mobile applications, they're right now specifically designed for the specific devices that carry the specific operating system. So the most common one is iOS, which is designed by Apple, right? And Android based. They can have the feature phones, the smartphones. We're going to know the difference. Okay, you Russian folks, okay, it's not EOS. Okay, it's iOS. Be professional, because very often I have classes in school, morning classes, evening classes, and people in class, Russian-speaking folks, they say, oh, okay, it's EOS. Please, let's, from now on, from today is what, September 25th, you're not going to use EOS. It's going to be iOS. Also, there is some variety of the Windows mobile users and people who use their BlackBerry devices. So, similar to the desktop applications, mobile application sometimes does not require internet connections. But at the same time, your updates could be downloaded either automatically or you need to go to the App Store or Google Play to download these applications and updates. Now, what I want to mention right from the beginning, okay? When you get your device, you have many icons on your home screen. These are applications, okay? And very often people think this is a definition of native applications. It is not, guys, you know, because the manufacturers, they usually make a research, okay, and they know exactly what are the most common applications people usually use on their phone, okay? Usually it's what? The phone, because we need to make a phone calls, SMS, Google, right? Google Drive, Siri for Apple devices, and so on and so on. So it is not the definition of native application when your device comes with pre-installed applications. Native applications could be downloaded from the App Store, and this is what your manufacturer actually have been doing before selling the device to you. So web applications, it is a group of apps, and like on your desktop, or you can access it through the website, okay, through your browser. But mobile, like I mentioned before, it is specifically designed for your device to fit the smaller screen and resolution. And it is always accessed by the browser. We have Firefox, we have Chrome, we have Mozilla, we have Safari, right? So it is not platform specific. It depends how you are accessing it. So basically, what is the difference between web and desktop app? And this is the whole idea of my introduction, okay? So web application, the deployment, it's when you're installing it, or upgrade for web-based application requires deployment on a single set of server machines. So you just go there, you access it, and you are there. And on the desktop, you are patching or upgrading is done on the individual client machine separately. So on web, from your phone, it could be accessed from anywhere, and there is no location concept. And as a desktop, you're confined to a standalone machine. So this is your machine, you're downloading, and that's it. Web applications are platform independent, okay? But the desktop applications, they need to be developed for each set of the different platform machines. And it is, you know, always the security. The security is always a big issue for mobile and web applications, because they are more vulnerable to catch any security risk compared to the desktop. And another thing is the web applications, they rely heavily on internet connectivity. Otherwise, you would not be able to access it. But desktop applications, they do not really require internet connection to operate them properly. Okay, guys, hold on just 1 second. All right. So this is a simple scope. How would you do testing for a smartphone? This is just introductory, and you probably haven't even heard about you haven't probably thought about what you have in your hands, and how it could be tested. So part of your homework is gonna be to test a simple phone application, and you will see how much things have to be tested before this particular application would be working correctly. Well, first and most, right, our smartphone, it's all about the reception. If we do not have a signal, we cannot do anything, right? We are sometimes, getting in rural areas and there is no reception, and that's it. We are lost. There is no GPS, we don't know where's the closest restaurant, how to get back. There's just everything. We are heavily relying on the reception and the strength of the signal. Okay, so just look at this screen. You can test anything that is right now presented on your phone. Just take a look at that. For example, you can call automated systems that specialize in voice recognition. You can call answering machines. You can place the calls indoors and outdoors in a different location, and then you can test your voice, how the recording was, with your when you're leaving a message to somebody. Then if you put your phone on the mute, you can check the vibrating alerts, or, when you're using the hardware controls, you can check if it's mapped correctly, if you can operate the controls. Voice dialing, sometimes we need we have to drive hands-free, right? And we're talking to Alexis and or Siri. We need to absolutely check if the voice dialing or ringtone volume is working. So there are so many things. Another big thing is the LTE. LTE is the network. This is a 4G LTE connections that lots and lots of people are using. So I'm not sure where you guys are from, all of you. If you can start just putting a little bit the location that you're at, it will be very helpful. And at the same time, I would like to see if you are speaking some different languages other than English, Russian and Belarusian. Maybe somebody speaks Hebrew, maybe somebody speaks Arabic, So Spanish, very good. Because there, sometimes I would ask people to maybe check some localization. So testing for the projects, and I will be, exactly aware who is speaking the second language. Very nice. Just keep going, guys, and we'll be, I'll be talking and go on with our lecture. So then we can access the different microphones and a speaker phone volume levels. This is a part of the testing too. Another big thing for the mobile is the Bluetooth technology. We're all going to be going through each of these network capabilities differently. So battery life, guys, especially for Android devices, is absolutely essential. If your application takes too much of a battery life, there is no way your application is going to be successful. So, and there are so many things, that basically every application, and I will show it to you in the future during our sessions, that every application have to go at least 22 points of a thorough testing. So this is going to be cool, and I'm really hoping that you guys, there's plenty of jobs right now, especially here in the United States, in the mobile application testing industry, because it is basically every reputable company right now, it makes its own mobile version of their website that as we know it before. Because the mobile devices is always with us, it's always on the go. So if you do not have if they do not develop the mobile application, they might be losing some money. So it's all about money. It's all about our convenience. And as you see right now on the screen in front of you, this is going to be your homework for today, just to get into the mobile application and put a little thought. What can you do with something which is in your hands? Just go ahead and just check it. There's 3 slides. There are about 36 points that you would be going through on your phone application. And this will give you a clear idea what in the future projects, why some test suits being developed, and just check it, okay? And I'm not gonna give you big homework this time, but starting session 2, we're gonna get very, very busy. So testing a tablet, guys, this is, you know, the device fragmentation is huge here. So this is just, again, a little bit to put you inside of the testing. I will absolutely send a copy of the presentation. It's gonna be like everything else. The video is going to be on the same portal as you get your other videos, okay? I'm also going to create the Google Drive directory. I will be sending you guys a link to this Google Drive. All the homeworks and the session presentations are going to be there. So if you let me finish, you know, explaining how it is going to work, you would not probably have a questions, okay? Like I said, that videos are going to be in the same directory where Mikhail's videos are, okay? Homework and slide presentations, PDFs is going to be cut by the sessions and uploaded to the Google Drive, and I will be sending you a link. Any questions about that, guys? All right. Doesn't seem like there's a question. Okay, who is your group lead, guys? Anybody? Who is a group lead? Because I'm not, I'm sorry, I cannot participate in chat rooms because I have so many classes and I would not have this, you know, opportunity to participate in a chat room. Amal, no one? Okay. Well, I would need 3. No, Christina Zuba, she is your program coordinator. You know, we are not taking Christina, she is busy. And because you are a team, and as I heard, you're a good team of people, so in a homework, I will ask you to select 3 leaders, group leaders, for Android and iOS. And you're gonna just, these group leaders are gonna communicate with me, okay, directly. And hard questions are gonna be answered by me and it's gonna be distributed to you. So right now you just guys think, you know, you are always chatting. I know you have a chat room. So just start thinking. By Thursday, I will need 6 people who are gonna be team leaders. I'll also send instructions how to do that. So basically, how to test a tablet, and this is an introductory to testing, so to get you in. So basically, first and most, you have to analyze the quality, display size, port, storage, controls of the physical device. So basically it's the software controls and the hardware controls. You have to check the web search engine from the different browser. Is it possible to even find your application if you're entering the keywords? Then we have the different kind of resolutions. We have 2D, 3D. We're playing games, you know, because the tablets, it's pretty much about playing games, you know, because it's bigger than your smartphone. So lots and lots of people are playing games. Who is guilty of playing games, guys? Who is playing? I'm playing. What you guys are playing? Okay. All right. So what you guys playing? Because gaming industry, you don't play. Well, you know, during our session, some of you will have to play some games because we need to test some games. So, I know it's a time consuming, I know it's addicting, and I'll be, you know, telling you some of the most profitable applications of our times, and you're gonna be surprised how much money these people make out of our addictions. Okay, so also it's not only tablets, it's just all phones. There are so many different formats. Here I'm showing you the MP3, which is a music format that and there are so many others. So basically it's going to be the whole scope of the formats that your mobile device is supporting, and it is going to be your responsibility to check for the support, for the bit rates. Taisia, Angry Birds was big before Candy Crush. I hear you. Okay, so like I said, it's always about the interruptions, the Bluetooth, and interruption tests are the most popular tests in our industry, because if we're testing, for example, the desktop application, it is something that do not have too many interruptions compared to the mobile devices. Our mobile devices, it's all about interruptions because there are so many. There's a phones, SMS, there's alarms, there are battery, just the charger in and out. So we're all gonna go through it. But if you think, there is never a quiet time with our devices. Then we have the different internet network connections, like Wi-Fi. Video, right? Video is big on our devices. Again, just like MP3, which is a music format, MP4, AVI, there are so many different video formats. Digital camera, you know, it's a compatibility between the software and the hardware, because camera is a hardware, so it have to be connected with the software to your device so you can operate. So you're basically operating software that sending the signal to the hardware to make, like, for example, a snapshot, right? To make a picture. So, like I said, battery life, and very often we are using the pens, right, to tap on our tablets to see the intuitiveness of this. First, the pen and the screen. The intuitiveness of the screen is one of the biggest major issues. So, and we are very impatient right now with our devices. So, if your screen is not intuitive enough, we are pretty much done with this. We don't want to deal with this. If your pen, the tip of your pen that you are using to operate your tablet is not doing the job, we just throw it in the garbage. So all these little things, they are being tested. Also the GPS. GPS is our main thing. I don't know about you guys. I am geographically challenged, really. You know, I cannot go anywhere without GPS. So I do not have this intuitiveness like men have, you know. And sometimes I'm even, you know, arguing with the GPS, and now I'm using Waze because traffic in Bay Area is so heavy. So I prefer to just make a couple of miles around than to get stuck on a traffic. It took me like a hour 40 minutes to get to work this morning because and I live just 25 minutes away. So traffic getting bad in Bay Area, so I'm glad you guys are not here. Okay, so I hope the traffic is much better in where you are living. Another big thing, you know, it's when we talk about the mobile devices, it is all about the forms, right? And the forms could differ, you know, you can put some mobile device on your head, okay, or you can wear it. So, and this is again, you know, the industry standards. What do you have to check on for example, the smartwatch? Because you are carrying a little computer on your wrist, right? So, and you have to check wearability and the quality of the screen, because the smaller the screen, the more precise the icon should be, because when you tap it, okay, it has to respond well. You know, it should not be overlapping. You have to know exactly what you're doing, where you want to tap, and be precise. Battery life is always going to be a big question. And it's one of the first tests that we are usually performing when making the testing on the mobile applications. So basically, how do we start? We usually start testing with the battery charged to 100%. Okay, then we play with the application for about 10 minutes, and then we're checking how much percentage of the battery is consumed. And if it's more than like 2-3%, well, it's not good. With Apple devices, we're not as concerned because Apple devices are they're holding battery pretty good. But with the Android devices, it's been always a huge issue. Well, they are improving, and right now with the Nougat, which is 7.0, and Oreo, by the way, congratulations, you know, on August 21st, we received finally a new operating system, which is Oreo, okay? It's 8.0, and everybody is happy. So here, Google, we have a little cookie on their grounds. So we are at the new operating system. And what is interesting is that Google does not release operating systems too often. And even if it does, it's not necessarily all the devices are covered. So by now, pretty much all devices are covered by Marshmallow 6.x, but Nougat and Oreo is just for selected devices. Then, of course, if it's a smartwatch, you know, we have to make sure that it's a smooth performance. GPS in this little thingy, okay? And GPS have to run smoothly. And of course, efficient charging, because you always wear it. You know, you don't want to just put your device down for charging too often. Unless you are rooted. What unless you are rooted? Rooting is it's not giving you any battery preferences, you know. I would say it goes even worse, because the processes when you are rooted is, oh, you're not talking about battery. All right, good. Because we're going to be talking about rooting and jailbreaking, so I'm going to give it all to you guys, you know. You're going to be busy. So anyway, medical devices are part of the also part of the mobile devices. Believe it or not, this defibrillator testers is kind of a honor job, right? Because people rely on your testing results, their life results. So, and you also have to be absolutely precise. If you can sleep with other devices and it's not gonna affect people's lives or health, you know, with the medical devices, you really have to put an honor in what you're doing, because these devices, they are testing the EKG, the heart rates, okay, the energy, and in case something critical happens, this little device can adjust and save the life. So you see, there are a couple of tests here in the industry are considered an honorable test. One is these medical devices, because people's lives depend on it. And the second one is the accessibility tests. It's like in our industry, we call it the screen readers. Okay, we're going to be going through it. It's when people with the different challenges and limited capabilities are using the technology just the way, and enjoying the technology just the way we do, and they're benefiting from that. But it's also required a very, very specific set of tests, like the voice recognition and the closed capturing and the voice navigation, and especially for people who are low vision or blind, this is again, you know, the speech recognition and navigation. So it's a lot, you know. If you think about the whole scope, it's a whole industry working around the mobile application, including the security and the government that put a certain regulations and standards for mobile application testing. So another wearable, okay, is the fitness tracker, okay? So you have to calculate the calories, or it should not overestimate or underestimate any readings, distances. So tracking accuracy is one of the biggest testing scope for these devices. So, and of course, you know, these fitness trackers have a lot of variables to track on. Like, for example, if you're running, you can slow down, or you walk on. So everything should be calculated simultaneously. The calories you burn, the distance you go, the speed. So if you think of a scope, it is huge, really. So for the mobile and web, one of the differences is the screen sizes. So usually for the mobile devices, the screens are smaller. And also another big test, it's when we start testing, it is a portrait in a landscape mode. So if the application is intelligent enough, then we support both modes, because people are holding the phone either in a portrait or landscape. How many people on a regular basis, not because you just need to check something in a landscape mode, how many people out of you using their phones in a landscape mode? How many? Always. You don't like portrait mode, you always use the landscape mode. How many of you? Okay. Because I am a portrait mode user, okay? I do not like turning my phone. But if you think, okay, the applications are usually being developed in a portrait mode, okay? This is how the applications are studying. And then everything else have to be adjusted to a landscape mode, because the size and the resolution of the application is going to be different. So the menus or the buttons that are presented on the portrait mode could be overlapped, or the graphic user's interface is not gonna look good. More, the functionalities can switch or stop working. So testing your applications in a landscape mode is absolutely essential. And not only just testing in the landscape mode. It should be done pretty fast as soon as you install your application. Why? Because just think of it. You got the application, you're testing it, you're putting your effort for 2-3 hours, could be a day, and then you turn your application to the landscape mode and you see that everything is corrupted. I've gone through that, okay? I learned my lesson, many years ago. I spent about 18 years in the industry before coming here to teach. So I've seen it all, and I want to warn you guys to just follow the rules that just learn from somebody else's mistakes, okay? If they could be avoided, why make mistake yourself? So one of the biggest thing is that our testers hardly turn the phones to the landscape mode, okay? So another thing, the more variations. For example, we have a Samsung, right? But Samsung, it develops and manufactures so many versions of the mobile phones. While pretty much on the web, the design is pretty much responsive, and it is pretty much predefined ratios, because we approximately know what kind of resolutions we have and how it have to fit. With mobile, and especially Android, I'm not talking Apple devices, they're pretty much accounted for. But Android devices, and I will give you the idea of the device fragmentation, so you wouldn't think, oh, Natalia is just talking about so many Android devices, but how many? Maybe it's not too many compared to Apple devices. I will show you in a couple of slides, guys, how many devices you basically have out on the market, and you will be surprised. How many do you think is on the market? Different devices. How many do you think? Okay, 5,000, thousands. But how many thousands, How many, Igor? 10,000? 10,000? Come on, guys. You can do it. 100,000. No, Arthur. 30,000. You're no, it's a little bit too high, 30,000, Sveta. Nobody knows exactly. I absolutely agree with you, Evgeny, because some of the manufacturers, they produce some of the feature phones that nobody is about. Gleb, you won. All right, I'll show you. Okay. So storage and RAM, it's another big difference between the mobile and web, because the in the mobile devices we have just a limited, right, the storage. So that's why we are trying to save as much space as possible. Oh, Gleb, I really like that muscle. So, for web, like for your desktop, and right now we have teras, right? So it just doesn't really matter how much space it takes, because it is basically unlimited. You will never be able to just fill up the 1 tera of the RAM memory. Okay, and the internet access. So mobile apps may or may not need online access. Some of the applications, they are, they're not requiring. But with web, it's just for small fracture, like a Gmail. Web-based software always requires internet connections. Then we have more configurations. What I've been talking about, the configurations, the platforms, is the operating systems. iOS, and this is part of the device fragmentations, okay? Just take a look at this. iOS, Android, Windows OS, BlackBerry, right? Hardware, it is all produced by Nokia, by HTC, Sony, Samsung, Apple, LG, whatever it is. So another big thing, that the devices is constantly hitting the market, okay? And we also have the opportunity to use emulators, which are like Android virtual devices. You can create virtual device and build the hardware, because the emulators are basically mimicking the hardware. When you create this virtual device, we call it emulator, it is mimicking the operating system. It is building the operating system. It is building your device. And contrary to the simulators that are pretty much running the software without building your device underneath. So emulators in a simulators is a big part of the mobile application testing. Also, we have another big one is the remote device access, RDA. There is companies like a Keynote, Device Anywhere, and the Perfecto Mobile, and they are basically letting you connect to the device via IP. And I'll show you, in Android Studio, we'll be connecting our real device remotely, just assigning the ports, and then you will understand how remote device access works. So, but on web, there's not too much, you can do. It's just basically Chrome is no different than Internet Explorer, and Firefox is mimicking Safari and Mozilla. So it's web-based software testers nearly always have any access to the platforms that they're testing. There's no such a thing, I cannot reach it, I cannot reach that website, because if you cannot reach it from one browser, which is, less common, you can always reach it from the other. Now, Gleb, did you say 20,000? Okay. This is Android. I'm not talking Apple, people, okay? Android device fragmentation. So, if every single square, okay, it is a device with a different screen resolution. And check this out. This is a statistics between August 2014 and the year later in August 2015. And it's basically grew by 7,000 new devices that hit the market. So people were buying more and more and more. So right now, the Android device fragmentation by 2016 hit 24,000 plus devices. Oh, yeah, Gleb, you said 23. Okay, you were 1,000 device less. So you see how many. It's not necessarily, don't get scared, it's not necessarily that you will have to test all of them. No, there come analytics teams and the marketing, How do you think they figure out what devices you have to test, guys? How do you think the analytics teams kind of bring down the devices that have to be tested? Popularity, okay, most popular. Also, the age group, okay, they are always considering by the age group, the population, by the country, by the price, okay? By the price, because yeah, I know Russian people, they like Apple devices, but in kind of rural countries, I don't think the Apple devices are affordable, okay? Also, we have to make sure there's an internet connection that is clearly supporting the full capability. So, and this is what we are facing. We are facing pretty much 3G and 4G technology for people who are not living in the United States. Here in Silicon Valley, we're pretty lucky to have the we are pretty lucky to have 4G LTE, so, and we're looking forward for 5G technology that Huawei and Samsung, 4 years ago they announced they have it, and we're pretty much expecting it by the 2020. They're saying it's in the labs, but I don't think we're gonna get it by 2020. So, but I'm looking forward. I'm optimistic and about the 5G technology, because I kind of made my research about 5G, and I realized it's pretty much the coolest thing on earth, if they can do it, and but we'll see. So, and also, beside everything that we guys were talking about, there is a swiping, tapping, pinching, zooming, tilting, shaking, and multi-touching the screens. So these are the differences between the mobile application versus web and desktop application testing. Okay, so I want you to guys get a good points, just revive the whole presentation is gonna be posted, and know exactly what is the difference. One of the first questions at the interview you might have is, so tell me, how did you test the mobile application, and what is the difference between other testing? So this presentation is going to be fully posted on your Google Drive, and I will be sending a link. And we are going to go with the program, and we are going to start. So we had an introduction, okay, and now we are going to hit the real world. So this is going to be my presentation. I have 3 presentations, about 472 slides altogether. It's going to be cut in sessions, and we're going to have a homework each session. And let's see what is going on in the industry. So first and most, we probably have to go through the mobile world statistics to see where we are getting into. Do we want to get into, and why? If we want to get into it, how we gonna test our applications? But it's always good before starting doing something to get an idea, where am I in? What is around me? Because it's always cool to talk about the industry. So Facebook, guys, in 2016, Facebook again took the lead as a smartphone app. So if you can see, and the number is in millions, is 146 million people. They are it's an average users, guys, every month. It's not just like a total, it's an average usage. Every month, Facebook gets hit with 146 plus million. Then, of course, you know, it's a Facebook Messenger. If we're in a Facebook, we absolutely have to communicate with the 129 million plus. Then we are always looking for videos on a YouTube, right? So YouTube is next. Google Maps. We love our GPS. We need to get places, so Google Maps. Google search, okay? I always tell my students, go Google it. You know, it's there. You know, put a little bit of work. Nobody is banned from Google search. So if you need something and you need to find something, there's tons of information on Google search. Google Play, this is where we are downloading the applications. Gmail, because it's free, it does not require, you know, stable internet connection. More and more people are pretty much switching their account to Gmail. Instagram is next. You know, we have to show the world what we are eating, and it's pretty much designed to put, you know, your food before you eat it. So don't break the rules. Always, you know, upload the picture of your dish. Instagram, Apple Music, and Amazon apps. So shopping, you know, I hardly go to the store anymore. I don't know about you. I hardly go to the bank. I hardly go to the stores shopping. I do everything online. I found it cheaper, easier, and because I do not have time, then, you know, even if something doesn't fit me, I can return. Is that only in US? This is pretty much, yeah, it's in US. We have some European statistics, but because we're in US, we're pretty much covering the US market, Vladimir. So, mobile apps versus mobile website, there is always the a statistic about it, how many people find the mobile apps, you know, more useful than the mobile website. Well, it is faster, it's convenient, it's easier to browse, and because it's, you know, the mobile app specifically designed to fit your mobile, so of course it's a better user experience. Banking, lots and lots of people do banking. I don't know, here in the United States, the banking apps are pretty stable, secure. Well, I'm not talking about the Equifax, okay? I'm talking just about banks. There's a huge security breach right now in, if you guys are living outside the US, I don't know if you heard the news or not. One of the biggest security breaches in Equifax, one of the, I think this is probably the worst security breach in the history. Why? Because these agencies that are reporting your credit scores, 143 million, absolutely, I mean, 143 million accounts being affected. What is bad about the Equifax? Equifax has all information about where you lived, all of your bank accounts, all of your money in this bank accounts, your social security, your residences. I mean, there is no better, in a worst case, place to hack all this huge database than these credit reporting agencies, because, you know, in the bank, well, they just, if you know, your information is breached in one bank, they do not have any information about other banks, about the other accounts, if you're not banking within the same kind of branch, not the branch, the bank. But this Equifax, they just kind of, you know, in order to give you a fair credit score, they had to collect everything. You know, all the residences, all the bank accounts, they know how much you own on all the credit cards. So just think about how bad it is. So I don't even know how they're gonna get out of this hole, because there are 3 credit reporting agencies that usually any loaner relies on, and Equifax was one of the most reputable one. So anyway, guys, this is it for today. Wait for the links. We wait for the videos to be posted on your portal, and wait for just your homework. But you can start your homework if you're awake, you know, if you're somewhere on the other side of the world. So test your phone application, okay? Check the slides, go through each. It's gonna help you tremendously in our future testing. It was a pleasure to be with you tonight, and I will see you on Thursday, guys. Good night.